is Elza Cristal L. Fernandez. So I will going to report the chapter 14, the Christian manager as ethical disciplinarian. So illegal and ethical obligation. So basahon sa ako. As a case manager for Sagamore County Mental Retardation and Developmental Disability Association or MRDD, Sue managed a caseload of 22 adults with developmental cognitive disabilities. Her responsibilities involved making sure clients receive the benefits available to them from state, county, and local agencies. She worked with these agencies to ensure that her people were granted full citizenships rights. Her tasks also included making sure the clients function as nearly as possible at their full capacity. Some of her clients had severe disabilities and required close supervision. Others, like 26-year-old Ivan Westmore, were only mildly challenged. Ivan held a regular full-time job and lived in his own apartment. He struggled with money management, thus he qualified for 5 hours of assistance each week to make sure he was not cheated during such activities as banking and shopping. Ivan had developed an infatuation with 16-year-old girl who lived in his neighborhood, although he referred to the girl as his woman. Most observers doubt the seriousness of the relationship. The girl's father had become sufficiently alarmed to ask a judge to issue a restraining order against Ivan. The court granted the father's request, and it had fallen to Sue explain to Ivan that he must stay away from the girl or face contempt of court charges. She was confident that Ivan understood the court order and its application. A few weeks later, during a routine interview, Ivan revealed to Sue that he and the girl had recently gone together to a movie. He discussed their date with enough clarity that Sue became convinced that not only had he violated the court order, but the two had become involved in a consensual sexual relationship. As soon as she had reason to believe that Ivan had violated the restraining order, Sue believed she had legal and ethical responsibility to notify the authorities. Ivan, she said, looking steadily into his eyes, do you understand that what you are doing is wrong and that I have to notify the sheriff? Go ahead, Miss Sue, Ivan responded. I'm willing to get in trouble and my woman will wait for me until I get out. So, ang akong pagsabot anino part is ang illegal and ethical obligation. Ang legal is which is kanang, di ba si Sue is siya ang ga-manage daw kuno sa mga tao na naay disabilities niya kanang which is siya ang nagkuan sa kanang mga tao ay sa iyang mga clients na makuha og full citizenship. And then na siya usa ka clients na name is Ivan Westmore, which is kanang si Ivan Westmore is naay regular full-time job. And then dili na siya own apartment pero dili siya si Ivan Westmore is usa ka client niya which is kanang naay regular full-time job nya naa siya iyahang apartment. And then pero ang nakakuan lang is si Ivan Westmore kay dili siya kabaw mo manage ang money. And then mao ni ang clients ni Sue. And then nahibaw-an ni Sue na si Ivan Westmore is naay karelasyon na 16 years old girl. And then katong 16 years old girl is ang iyahang father is against sa ilang love. Against sa ilang love mo to ang father sa 16 years old girl kay nakigkaso. And then and then maoto nakigkaso, and then as si Sue man ang nag-manage sa kanang kay apil man si Ivan atong mga apil man si Ivan kay clients man siya Sue about atong citizenship. So si Sue nag-manage about ana is iyang gi-explain ni Ivan na sayop ang ilahang gibuhat, dili pwede ilang gibuhat. So as ethical obligation, did legal is katong court sa court sa father, and then ang ethical obligation dito na nakatong gisultian ni Sue si Ivan na sayop ang iyang gibuhat na makigkuan pa siya, makigmeet pa siya atong 16 years old girl, and then naay nahitabo atong time nagdate sila, and then naay nahitabo. But si Ivan Westmore as her clients kay love man niya ang iyang girl, nagpadayon siya. So second page is a hated disagreement. So mao na ang situation. While Sue's legal obligations seemed clear enough to her, Paul argued that Sue should look the other way on the matter. Look, Sue, he instructed, we have a MRDD levy before the voters in less than 30 days. Something like this in paper could get blown all out proportion and threaten all our job. Quit asking the kid about his sex life and forget what you already know. You're suggesting I violate the law, Sue argued. I have no choice but to report what I know. If voters can sort out right from wrong, we'll just have to find alternative funding. No, Paul demanded angrily. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm giving you a direct order. Forget Ivan's sex life. Later the same afternoon, Sue filed a report with Sagamore County Sheriff Office. As required by office procedure, she put a copy of report in Paul's mailbox. Now she stood red-faced with anger in Paul's office. A written warning for following the law and doing my job correctly is a cheap shot. She shouted, if you continue to raise your voice to me, I'll increase your discipline to a day off without pay. Paul responded the battle of disciplinary action and Sagamore County MRDD Association was heating up. So, a heated disagreement. So, sa situation aning a heated disagreement is si Sue ug si Paul. Kani si Paul is supervisor ni Sue. And si Sue is maura ang nag-manage sa mga clients na makakuha og full citizenship. Then si Sue nakahibaw man atong about sa issue ni Ivan Westmore. And then as supervisor ni Sue, ni ana ang supervisor ni Sue na forget sa to yung giingon oy na forget what you already know. Kanang ibaliwala na lang ang case ni Ivan Westmore kay syempre dili naman good part sad ni Sue tung makiguan pa siya sa problem ni Ivan Westmore. Good ang trabaho ra ni Sue is nag-manage siya sa mga citizenship sa mga young clients, and then si Sue is ni overlap na siya sa iyahang responsibility. And then ang situation ani is gusto ni Paul na dili na maghilabot si Paul gusto ni Paul na dili na maghilabot si Sue sa situation ni Ivan Westmore. Siya si Sue is gusto siya na padayon kay sayop lagi daw kuno ang gibuhat ni Ivan Westmore. Mo nang wala sila nagkasinabot. Ang heated disagreement is wala nagkasinabot ang usag tao, na which is ang kani si Paul baya is supervisor baya ni Sue. So reason for employee discipline. So ineffectiveness. Sometimes supervisor must deal with employees whose skills are inadequate for the job. to which they are assigned. In other cases, employees have the necessary skill but use them in an effective manner. The ethical carefully analyzed each situation to make sure that discipline does not take the place of coaching and adequate trainer. So, ang mga, 'di ba, 'di ba, ang mga supervisor sometimes ang mga supervisor man jud ang mo-assign sa mga employees kung asa sila ibutang. And then some man good employees is lack of knowledge or wala pa kayo kaybaw about about sa ilahang job. Dapat daw kuno ang mga employees is naay mga skills mga skills daan. And then as ethical manager is kanang siya ang analyze sa situation. Every employee kay dapat na ay proper training. Sapat ta kalam kay sa mga good employees daw kuno na, na kanang some employees is kanang mo go lang pero walay kanang mo go sila pero kanang ganing wala pay sapat na pag-train sa ilaha. So, the second reason sa mga employee discipline is ang ilahang personal problem. A second category requiring disciplinary action involves employee with off-the-job personal problem that direct or indirect affect job performance. Alcohol abuse create an attendance problem. Drug abuse may lead to unsafe work habits. Material difficulties may cause the job lapses of concentration, overall effectiveness. So sa kuan as ikaw na employee, ang imuhang mga personal problem unta dili na nimo dal-on sa imuhang trabaho. Pero as ethical manager, as ethical as Christian manager, as ethical disciplinarian, so as ikaw na ethical manager, imuhang siyang sultian sa right and wrong. Dapat dili unta siya na magpadala sa iyang problema. Mo na reason jud sa kadalasan na kuan sa mga employee kay ang ilahang problema sa ilahang balay kay ilahang dal-on sa ilahang work, which is wrong na habit. Kay nitrabaho ka wala ka nitrabaho para magdrama sa imong trabaho. Third is on the job crime. A third category requiring employee discipline involves the growing problem of on-the-job crime, stealing from employers, embezzling funds, disclosing trade secrets, and misusing expense accounts or company credit cards. All for within this category, often law enforcement authorities intervene, relieving the employee of disciplinary action. Ethical manager recognize the employer responsibility to minimize opportunities for illegal behavior. Increasingly, companies use industrial security techniques including security education, fraud control, and appropriate checks and balance. So, sa kuan na lang dan on the job crime. Ang best example na kuan ni is kanang like sa mga fast food, which is nakatrabaho ko sa fast food. One of my ay najud nang kanang mga like mga duol kayo sa attempt is kanang mga cashier. So like kawat mga dapat na kay discipline to face na kuan good, like if mo kuan kag trabaho din na assign ka ana, dapat imong hunahunaon jud ang sakto, like imong hunahunaon if imo ning buhaton na ay possible na negative na mahitabo. Kadalasan jud is kanang namagoy uban good na kanang manihanglan na kwarta and this na timingan na cashier siya atong time and then nasilaw siya sa kwarta, so nakahimo siya bati. Pero kung imo lang hunahunaon ang sakto ug ang sayop, imong ibaylo ang imuhang dignidad sa pila ra ka amount, diba? Kay once na maka-steal ka and then once na makasuhan ka, so nay possibility na sunod nimo na apply sa job is dili nakamadawat kay naa na kay case record. And then the fourth is discipline is company policy violation. A fourth reason for employee discipline often is the most difficult administer violation of company policy or supervisor instruction. Paul believes Sue fits into this category. To determine appropriate discipline for such violation, the ethical manager must be certain that company policies and instruction have been clearly communicated. For example, when orienting new employees, many managers take proactive approach. This goes beyond giving the typical walking tour of facility, introducing key personnel, filling out tasks and insurance form, and handing out a policy manual. The proactive manager invest company time giving in a depth new hire orientation to policies and procedure and periodic reviews for policies throughout subsequent month of year of employment. Special attention is given to inform employees and so company violation sa mga tanan jud na company is naa-joy kanang mga rules, diba? Na-joy mga rules na dapat dili buhaton, dapat buhaton, and then naay kuan kanang kani iyang gi-example ni Paul believes who fits into this category. So dito pa lang sa si Sue is nakig-argue siya sa iyang supervisor, which is ni dito na time is kanang nana siya violation ato kay makig-argue ka sa imong supervisor. Then okay kung nakig-argue ka kung part sa imong work ang imong dili sad necessary na dapat makig-argue ka sa imong supervisor. Dapat pwede naman imo siyang sultian para makabaw siya, pero katong time na sa part ni Sue is nakig-argue siya pero dili na belong sa iyahang trabaho, which is ang trabaho ra ni Sue is mag-manage sa mga clients niya na makuha og full citizenship. Wala na didto na ang iyang trabaho kay mo-appeal pa siya sa case ni Ivan Westmore. Dito pa lang na naanay violation si Sue didto. So there are 4 progressive discipline. First is verbal warning. Ang verbal warning is Bounding first violation often result in verbal warning or disciplinary discussion. This is the most common of all disciplinary action and often brings about necessary correction. So ang kaning verbal warning is if ang imuhang employee is naay nabuhat sayop and then imuha siyang patawagon sa imuhang office and then imuha siyang sultian kung unsa iyang sayop. And then mao na ang first violation, like gisultian ka sa imong sayop na dapat imong usbon. And then ang sunod is written warning, which is mura siya o pareha na siya sa ang verbal warning is gi-talk ra ka privately kay gisultian ka sa sayop. Ang kaning written warning is mura ra siya verbal warning kay gisultian ay kaning gihatagan ka og letter na naa kanang which is nag-include dito kung unsa ang imuhang sayop or unsa ang imuhang behavior anang like naay issue ba na like mga issue na imuhang nahitabo sa imuhang company. gi-state didto kung unsay dapat nimong buhaton na dapat nimong usbon. And then third na progressive discipline is disciplinary layoff. Ang disciplinary layoff is like kanang if like if the two steps above fail to produce the intended change, some firms use the third step, disciplinary layoff, ranging from few hours a week or more. Disciplinary layoff means employee is ordered to take time off without pay. Sometimes this step is divided, allowing for progressively longer periods of layoff reflecting the severity. So ang akong pagsabot aning disciplinary layoff is kanang ang imuhang employee is like naa siya'y sayop na gibuhat sa company is like dili lagi siya ditsuon siya og dili siya ditsuon og papahawa, like gihatagan nimo siya og suspend if sa eskwelahan pa gi-suspend pa nimo siya og pila ka weeks or month para makabaw siya kung unsa iyang sayop. Pero and then para makabaw siya sa iyang mga sa iyang sayop na siyang sayop kanang naa siya kanang like kaning nakuan na part na is duha-duhaan na namatangtang siya or dili kay naa siya kanang mga rules sa company na iyahang gilabag. And then is last final step na jud is termination. In the progressive discipline process, after other efforts to produce change behavior have failed, is termination. Work guidelines and rules, including those instituted by the government and collective bargain agreement. Is na termination is kanang humana na kanang mana kanang kung nakuha na dito nimo ang katong verbal warning, katong written warning, and then nakakuha na kag disciplinary, then wala pa na usab ang imuhang wala pa na usab ang imuhang the way ka mo kuan sa imuhang company. So nay possibility na i-terminate na ka. So like tungod sa imong behavior sa imong company, like mahawa na ka sa imuhang trabaho. Mao na. And then positive discipline. So, positive discipline suggests that employees wish to positive contributing members to society within their company. This results in more frequent and voluntary compliance with company policies and procedures, leading to worker satisfaction and positive worker contribute towards meeting the company goals and vision. A key belief is that instinct desire can be active, leading to more appropriate employee behavior and productive. This approach to discipline also respect employee as person of dignity and both personal and professional potential. Positive discipline does not wink at inappropriate behavior. It identifies inappropriate behavior, confronts it, records it, and even use data collection for employee termination. However, it also look for positive remedies and emphasize the belief that human being will respond in appropriate ways. When they are treated as person of dignity with both personal and professional potential, there is an underlying belief that when employees are managed and disciplined in positive, proactive way, both employees and company benefit. So, positive discipline, word positive, dapat positive ang imuhang like if naa kay employee na nakasayop, dili nimo siya na instead kanang kanang positive discipline ha, if naay employee nimo na nakasayop, dili nimo siya syagitan dito, like kanang i-treat nimo siya na kay dili man jud ta naa man jud tay naa man jud tay wala nahibaw-an. So i-treat nimo ang katong employee nimo na nataw, dili kay abig supervisor ka or abig manager ka na kay right na magsinghag-singhag niya. Musulti ka, nasayop niyang gibuhat, like kana ganing respetuay sa usag-usa kay ang kuan man good like ang tao man good is ma-triggered once imuha siyang gisultian sa iyang sayo pero the way ka mo approach niya is kanang mura siya dili na tao ang the way ka mo storya niya like wala na kay respeto niya ba so ang tao ma-trigger po nimo og fight imbis na kanang imuha siyang tabangan sa iyang mga sayo mas imo pa noong gi dungagan mas naapil na noon ka sa gubot na dapat positive lang dapat kung approach mangani ka sa imuhang employee or mo approach mangani ka sa imuhang coworker imo siyang sultian sa sayop in right way dili kay pinasinghag. And then sunod is a goal of improvement. The Greek word paideia translated discipline in this passage has same root as English word pediatrics. This word implies the training or instruction a caring parent might give to child. Interesting, the passage suggests that discipline from God should be considered as evidence of His love, just as loving parent discipline as child. So God discipline in order to help His children improve. Similarly, discipline action by caring employer who desire to train, instruct, and improve the performance of employee meets scriptural parameters of ethical discipline. By contrast, revenge of reprisal, while often confused with discipline, are much different and are by definition unethical. One manager sought some way to dismiss a person he perceived as a problem employee. He went through the progress discipline steps, but his mind had been made up before he even began process. This troublemaker has to go. He declared his preconception meant that discipline he admires was only intended to fulfill the demands of rule book, not improve the employee performance, such as does not meet scriptural ethical. Looking again at Sagamore Valley MRD, we must first determine whether or not Paul intended to bring suit to place improvement performance. Was his motivation caring? Did he want to make Sue a better employer, or did have so a goal of improvement? So para ma-improve ay discipline is gimade sa God na para ma-improve daw kuno. So dire gisulti na just a loving parent discipline each child, so God discipline in order to help his children improve. So maora sa daw kuno na a supervisor is imuhang i-discipline ang imuhang employee to improve kung like if naa siya'y wala nahibaw-an, like naa siya'y kanang naa kay gi-assign niya, and then na siya'y kanang lack siya og knowledge about ana, so imuha siyang tabangan para ma-improve siya anang butanga. Imuha siyang sultian kung unsay dapat niyang buhaton para ma-improve ang iyahang performance sa imuhang company. Pareha sa panghitabo atong daw kuno sa katong situation nila Sue ug Paul. Instead na si Paul na, di ba, wala man sila nagkasinabot ato kay si Sue kay iyaha man jud matuman. So instead na sultian ni Paul ang dapat untang buhaton ni Sue, nakig-fight back pa siya para modako na nun ang ilahang kuan. Murag wala na sila nagkasinabot, which is wrong kay si Sue wala pud niya nakita na nagtrabaho siya and then ginato ra pud niya ang supervisor. Like wala siya tahod. And then last part is a teachable spirit. One manager concluded that this verse points to the importance of teachable spirit, ethical discipline designed to gain improvement in performance as natural, even negative result in life of an employee who lack teachable spirit, whether or not full discipline meet the requirements of property, who had responded to receive discipline in an ethical manner. So, ang ending ani is kanang even wala daw nakakuan si wala nakadisiplin si Paul ni Sue, pero si Paul kay naay discipline as ethical manner, like kabaw siya unsay sayop niya, unsay sayop ug sakto niya. So ang ako ra nahibaw-an, ang ako ang endpoint ani na chapter is kanang discipline jud is a key, like kung mo discipline kag tao is tarungon nimo siya para dili siya ma-trigger nimo, and then if imuhang ang kanang if naa kay tao, I mean as ikaw na tao din naa kay kaila na wala kabaw aning butanga, tabangan nimo siya para ma-improve siya anang butanga, cause improvement in performance has neutral or even negative result in life. So that's all. Thank you.